back, relax, and maybe get yourself a snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hey guys, I am here today to do a book haul. But most of these books I don't have in physical form because most of them are audiobooks or Kindle books that I've recently picked up, and I want to tell you about them because I want to know which ones you're interested in and which ones you want me to read and review for you guys. So let's start off with the one book that I do have in physical edition, and that is this one, An Inheritance of Magic by Benedict Jacker. Now this one literally has just come out, probably by the time this video goes up. It comes out next week. That's the 5th of October. I don't know anything really about this one, to be honest, because it was just sent to me by Orbit, but it says anyone can use magic if they can afford the price, and in a world where everything magical is owned and controlled by the super rich, Stephen Oakwood has inherited a natural talent for magic. When his father disappears, he's plunged into a glittering world of scheming dynasties and vicious schisms. Stephen must navigate magical high society and learn to control his gifts. So it's book one in a series, and I've never heard of the author before, but I am intrigued. It does sound a little bit maybe fantasy of manners, maybe political scheming going on, but also it's relatively short for what I normally read. 348 pages, so yeah, fairly short overall. Comes out on the 5th of October this year, and one to maybe look out for if that sounds appealing to you. Next up, I'm going to run you through a couple of books that I recently picked up on audio, and I do have, I think, like 5 credits that need using up. So if you have any audio recommendations, I use Audible. I'd love to have your recommendations, specifically mainly fantasy, I suppose, but any non-fiction that sounds interesting or any sci-fi that sounds interesting is also welcome, but fantasy in particular is my favourite, as you know. So a couple of books that I have picked up on audio and I'm hoping to get to relatively soon. I have Sorcery and Cecilia, or The Enchanted Chocolate Pot. This is by Patricia C. Reed, and Caroline Stevermer. Now, I have heard good things about this. I don't know quite how it came on my radar, but I think it falls under the sort of fantasy of manners, romance, historical, that kind of vibe. I'm excited to give it a go. It's got good reviews from a couple of authors that I like and other readers who I tend to like what they like when it comes to sort of fantasy of manners, historical fantasies, that kind of thing. So I'm hopeful that I'll enjoy this. In fact, it came out in the 80s, so it's not at all new, but it's something I've just had on my radar for a while, and I saw that they have an audiobook and I thought, why not? I'll give it a try. So if you've read this one and you know anything about it, do let me know. If, like me, you had no idea about it until a couple of people started talking about it and you just saw it pop up, then this is what it's about. So it's focused on London in a time when magic is pretty wild and deadly. We're following 3 characters from the sounds of it. Oliver, who is a tree and he's been transformed into one, which sounds completely bizarre, but very up for that. Kate, who was apparently almost poisoned at the College of Wizards. And then also we have Cecilia, who is apparently being spied on by some sort of man. So I really don't know a lot more than that, other than it's supposed to be good, it has magic, and it's got these characters. I'm going to give it a go. I'd love to hear your thoughts if you've read it. Another one that I picked up recently, kind of because other people keep mentioning this author to me and I haven't really read anything by them. I think I might have read one of their books, but I haven't read a lot. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to give them a go. That is T. Kingfisher. Whenever I talk about Travis Baldry or TJ Klune or like cozy reads, a lot of people recommend T. Kingfisher as an author that I need to try. So I'm definitely going to give their work a bit more of a go. This is Paladin's Grace that I'm going to try out first. Let me know if there's any other ones that you highly recommend by them. But this one says that Stephen's god died on the longest day of the year. I don't know why they're all called Stephen. It's very odd because my husband's called Stephen, so it's just like, I don't know, bizarre to read all these characters called Stephen. Apparently this is following a paladin called Stephen who is kind of a broken man after his god dies, and he's kind of just carrying on through life, but he encounters an assassination attempt gone wrong, and with the fugitive Grace, he kind of has to navigate a web of lies after that point. So, as I say, don't know an awful lot more than that, but I am interested to read more from this author, and hopefully I will like them as much as many of you apparently do. I picked up a book which came out in 2022 by an author that I've previously read and enjoyed, and that is Brian McClellan's latest series. The first one in that is called In the Shadow of Lightning. Now, I have read, I think, 2 series by him previously and enjoyed them, so I'm just going into this one kind of hoping the same will be true here. It's a world where magic is apparently dying out. There is not an infinite amount of magic, and the magic is finite and it is diminishing quickly. We are following a character who is called Demir, and he is apparently from a wealthy family and a noble family, but he has fled his upbringing and he just wants to kind of drift through life and make his own way in the world, kind of alone. However, his mother is brutally murdered and he is forced to come back and try and uncover what has really been going on. And in order to do that, he has to reconnect with some old enemies and people who maybe he doesn't love so much, and try and get some allies on his side. There's also a war looming, because of course there usually is in Brian McClellan's work, and it sounds like it's going to be a big epic fantasy series, so I'm excited. I expect it will at least be a trilogy, knowing him. The next one I picked up recently is The Dragons of Deepwood Fen. I got this one on NetGalley, so it's not released yet. It comes out December this year. I'm actually reading this one at the moment, and it's by an author I have previously read and enjoyed, so I'm hopeful that I will end up really enjoying this one. I will say it's been a bit of a slow beginning, but the world is focused on a world of dragons and dragon riders, and then there are a couple of different kind of groups of people. We have the church, we have the people who live in the woods and are sort of seen as outcasts, and they're called the Knives, and they live in the Holt. And then we also have the kind of day-to-day people who live in the towns and the Inquisitors who are trying to search and hunt down some people who are doing wrong. All of this is kind of told through loads and loads of viewpoints, so we actually have an awful lot of POVs, and I found it a little bit confusing at the beginning, I'm not going to lie, to figure out who was who and how they connected to the other people. I'm about halfway through now, and it's definitely picking up a lot more, and the story's getting really interesting, and the magic's kind of coming through as well, which I like, and it's pretty dark magic of, like, you know, necromancy and stuff like that. So, and obviously dragons are a big part of the world, so that's always good. But yeah, I'm not quite sure where it's going yet. I am intrigued and I am enjoying it enough to continue, but I am, yeah, a little bit unsure which direction we're going to end up in at the moment. So maybe that's a good thing. We'll see. The action is definitely picking up though, which is good. A couple of other non-fictions that I recently picked up on Audible include Saving the Last Rhinos, The Life of a Frontline Conservationist. And I don't really know anything about this, but it is obviously about conserving rhinos, and I do enjoy sort of nature non-fiction. This one sounds really interesting because this author is actually doing the work at the moment and has set up various foundations and seems to be kind of out in the field doing stuff, which is actually making a difference to save the rhinos, hopefully. And I am obviously all for saving rhinos because we do not want more of our species in the world going extinct, especially the really impressive, amazing animals that are out there. So this is something I just like to do a little bit of non-fiction reading on every now and then, and I felt in the mood for that, so I picked this one up. I also, along the same lines, kind of picked up another one about animals, which is also, I believe, non-fiction, which is called An Elephant in My Kitchen. And this one also, I think, focuses on a conservationist who married the author of the book, or was together with the author of the book, and then he died and sort of left her with this reserve, I believe, of elephants. So it's kind of her story of what happened after his death. I love nature and elephants are cool, so why not? Next up, I also picked up another audio, which is Sweet Pea by CJ Scoose. Now this is, I believe, a thriller, fiction, story, crimey one. Not my usual cup of tea at all. As you guys know, I don't tend to read much crime or thriller, but I do dip into it for my book club, and actually the book club was on hold for quite a few months whilst there was a very busy period at work, but it's back up and running, and so the book club reads are happening again, and this is the first one that I've picked up for book club. So Rhiannon is this main character who apparently killed someone 3 years ago, but that kind of has died down now, and now she is just making secret kill lists and going about her day-to-day life. And I don't know, it sounds a bit weird, but someone I work with, friend, read it and recommended it to us, said it's really fun and exciting, so we're going to give it a go. We are trying to relaunch the book club with an easy read that is hopefully going to hook people in. So we'll see if that works out. Fingers crossed it will. And if you've read any of this author's work, let me know. I think they've got a couple of different books out. If you have any recommendations generally for a book club that reads all genres, and you've just read a good book that you think would be great for a book club discussion, let me know in the comments, because I'm always open to ideas for book club. Any genre, like I say, we read widely. It's the one place that I do read really random stuff that I would not normally read, so it's good to push the boundaries. Next up, I picked up another book by an author I've read before, and this one is The Will of the Many. This is James Islington's new book series. I believe it's just the first in a series, and I really enjoyed his other series. I read it when he was self-published, and I just fell in love with it. He's quite a long book writer. His other books were pretty hefty tomes, and this one seems like it's also going to be that. But I've seen some really good reviews from other people who have very similar tastes, of other reviewers who have very similar tastes to me, and they've said it's great. So I'm hoping that I will also enjoy it. It sounds as though we are following a main character in first person who is joining an academy to prove themselves and be able to go through the ranks and learn all of the ways of this empire, but they are kind of hiding a secret about the empire having killed their family, and I guess there's going to be kind of a revenge plot going on there. I've got, as I say, quite a few friends who've read this and said it was great, so I'm very hopeful that I will enjoy this one when I get to it. It's a bit long. I think it's nearly 700 pages, so I don't know quite when I'm going to get to it, but I'm excited to give it a go. And finally, I have two books that are on my Kindle, which are part of the final two in the Secret Projects by Brandon Sanderson. I'm pretty sure most people will know by now the names of them. Yumi and the Nightmare Painter was the third book, and The Sunlit Man was the fourth book. Now, both of these, I believe, are Cosmere books, so they're set within his Cosmere universe. I truly don't know an awful lot about them, but I love the cover art of both. I think they're fantastic covers. I believe Yumi has got illustrations, which is awesome. The illustrations are by Aaliyah Chen, and then The Sunlit Man, the illustrations in that one are by Ananda Souza, Nabest Zitro, and Kudriakan. I'm very sorry if I completely butchered those names. I do not know quite how you say them, but I am very excited because I love adult books with illustrations. Why do we not have more books that are adult ones with illustrations? We should. Very excited for both of them. As I say, I really don't know anything about them, but I'm excited to give them a go. Sanderson's Cosmere is what I most enjoy from him, and his standalone Cosmere books have always been good for me, so I'm hoping that these are going to be good ones as well, because they, I believe, are both standalone Cosmere titles. Looking forward to them. I would love to hear if you guys have read them. I know Yumi's been out for a couple months, but The Sunlit Man just got released at the start of October, so it's only just come out. So I think that is everything I've recently picked up. It feels like quite a lot of things now that I'm thinking about it, and I'd love to have your opinions on all of them below. If you've read any or listened to any on audio, what did you think of them? Leave me any other audio recommendations you have, because as I say, I've still got some credits to use up, and I will see you all very soon in another video. Bye everyone!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.